So we finally got it. Goku has finally obtained the form of Super Saiyan God. And I just gotta say, it took a long time to get him that form in this episode. So how's it going, guys? This is gonna be my episode review on episode 9 of Dragon Ball Super. Now, I think this probably will be a very short review because not a lot happened within this episode. It was basically them just finding out how to obtain the Super Saiyan God form, and then them just going through the process of actually obtaining it and actually giving Goku the form of Super Saiyan God. So this episode basically starts off with them gathering all of the Dragon Balls and they summon Shenron. So it's very nice to actually hear Shenron's voice, and I think it's probably Chris Sabat, if I'm not mistaken, that does the voice of Shenron. And I know Chris Sabat does a lot of the voices within Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and I'm guessing now in Dragon Ball Super, he's just known for doing a lot of the voice work. And hearing his voice, it's very nostalgic, going back to like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z days, whenever they would summon the dragon, and when you hear his mighty voice coming out of that dragon. So it's just very nice to hear that, but it was also very weird to see that Shenron was scared of Beerus. So we've never actually seen Shenron in this light before. At least I don't remember ever seeing him, in a panic state where he's actually worried about someone in his presence. He's usually, the all-powerful being in the room whenever he gets summoned. But once he hears that Lord Beerus is there, he's like panicking and he's trying to make sure that nothing bad happens, and he's trying to please Lord Beerus. But, he ends up explaining to everyone there, once he gets summoned, how to obtain the Super Saiyan God form, and basically they need at least 5 Saiyans to transfer their power. That's to be pure-hearted Saiyans at that. They have to transfer their power into one being of a Saiyan heritage, and then thus they can actually obtain the form of Super Saiyan God. So Shenron basically, he says that, and he's like, deuces, I'm out. He just spreads the Dragon Balls out, and Shenron just pieces out like that. So it was very funny to see him just like, he wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. So once they obtain this information, they're trying to decide, it's like, oh, Goku should probably be the one that we transfer our energy to. And I find this part very funny because Vegeta the whole time is just basically bad mouthing and talking back to Kakarot the whole time. It's so funny. But there was one part where even they suggested maybe we should have, should Vegeta even be involved in this? Is he pure-hearted enough to do this? And Chi-Chi ends up throwing some shade at Goku and actually saying like, oh, Vegeta's a good husband. He takes his family out on vacations. I was like, wow, Chi-Chi, wow, you're going to bring that up right here. You're going to basically throw Goku under the bus, because Goku isn't like the best parent in all of Dragon Ball, but the shade she was throwing in this episode, I was like, damn, Chi-Chi, you're not holding anything back here. So after that whole bit, they get into the formation. So we have Goku being the receiver of all this energy, and we have Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan all behind him, linked hands, and they're basically have all of their hands linked to where they're all connected with Goku, and they're channeling their energy into him. So they end up trying this out, and they end up not obtaining it because Whis ends up looking at all of them and saying like, I must have been the only one that understands Shenron, because you need 5 total Saiyans to transfer into one being. So in total, you need 6 Saiyans. And at that time, there's only 5 Saiyans that we know of that are alive on planet Earth. So they're like, shit, we can't do it. But then Videl comes in clutch as Beerus is like, all right, I'm ready to destroy everything. But Videl shows up and she's basically telling everyone, it's like, well, no, we do have another Saiyan here. He's actually in my stomach. I'm pregnant. And Gohan's very happy about this. So we get the news that, she's pregnant. And this is how Pan gets introduced into the story, because Dragon Ball Super takes place in between both like the last few episodes of Dragon Ball Z and that time skip we get near the end. So this is where Pan is actually being introduced. Not really in a sense, but we know that Videl is pregnant, so it's very nice to see that they're keeping the continuity, at least in line with like the final moments of the Dragon Ball Z, where Dragon Ball Super kind of ties in. So with this revelation, we actually have the 6 Saiyans we need in order to do this. So she ends up linking arms with them. They actually end up trying it a second time, but then there's like a fluke, and then Goku is just like, well, maybe the baby isn't as pure-hearted as we're saying, and Gohan is like, what are you talking about? This is my child we're talking about. So round 2 doesn't work, and they go right into round 3, and this is where it actually gets like everything works out perfectly, and it goes through this whole transition of like the seasons going back and forth, where there's rain, hail, and you can see the sun and moon cycle going back and forth, and the clouds start forming. Very long process. It's basically the entire half of this episode is just him transforming into a Super Saiyan God. So after a long sequence, Goku has finally obtained of Super Saiyan God. So we finally get to see this form, you know, the red hair. He's actually thinner too when you look at his form. So it thins you out, but also gives you a red aura, red eyes, and red hair. So now Goku has obtained this form. Beerus is very pleased, and now we can finally get into some action to where Beerus is going to be fighting Goku. And I really hope that there's more action in this upcoming episode, because this episode was very slow paced. Animation was at times. Like, I'm just like, I really can't wait for the action to pick up and just get into some good content, because it felt like the pacing for this episode was very, very slow. But that's basically the overall of what happened within this episode. So I wanted to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of this overall episode? Did you think it was as slow as I'm making it out to be, where it was just basically them covering the transformation of turning into a Super Saiyan God? So let me know in the comments below about what you guys thought of the episode and your overall feel of the Super Saiyan God form. I know it's been introduced in the movie Battle of Gods, but I just want to hear your thoughts on the overall form of Super Saiyan God. What do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Let me know in the comments below. So that's the end of this review. If you guys are catching me for the first time, I'm doing reviews on all of Dragon Ball Super, the English dub, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the more content as it goes on, because I know that we're going to be getting into some good content later on down the road, until we're just retreading through the 2 movies of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. So leave your thoughts in the comments below of what you thought about this episode, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode, which I hope we get some awesome fight sequences between Lord Beerus and the now Super Saiyan God Goku. So, and until episode 10, we're now in the double digits of Dragon Ball Super. Until we get into episode 10 of Dragon Ball Super, I'll talk with you guys in my next review. Alright guys, see you later.